Hey guys, today we're going to make a multimedia sort of collage watercolor art piece that has to do with bees. In your kit, you're going to get a piece of watercolor paper, a little watercolor palette like this. You'll get one of these hexagons, a hexagon shape, and you'll get a bee. A little like 3D bee charm. Okay, and you need to provide your own cup of water. The watercolor kit comes with a brush, so you need a cup of water, and you need a black pen, and also you may need a paper towel. Okay, so I'm going to show you, we're going to do it kind of in two parts. One where we do the watercolor, and then we have to wait for it to dry to do the next parts. You can, of course, do anything you want. You don't have to follow me. You can do whatever you want. It's your picture. Okay. Okay, so we're going to start out by wetting the paper. So we're just going to take our water and our brush and just without any color on it, we're going to wet the paper. I've done a bunch of it already because it's really boring to watch somebody just wet paper. So I've done most of it, but you're going to do the whole entire thing, okay? The more water that we have, the more like kind of dreamy the background's going to be. The way watercolors work, and these aren't like spectacular watercolors, they're just super basic ones. But the way that watercolors work is the more water that you're using, the less pigment there is. And the less water that you use, the more pigment there is. So if you like a lot of color, then you'll use less water. But really the whole point of this background is that it's going to be like kind of dreamy, like sunrisey or sunsetty. And so I'm using a little bit of yellow, and every time I put the yellow in, you know, I wet my brush and I dip into the yellow, and then even after that I'm going to wet my brush again to make it like a little less. I don't want it to be super duper yellow. I'm not getting more of the color. I'm just kind of trying to kind of spread around what I have on here already. Now I'm doing like yellows and oranges and reds. You could certainly add blue. You could do blues and greens. Because it eventually is going to be like a bee sort of theme with what I'm doing, that's why I picked yellow. I also super like yellow, so just got a little bit pinker than I had imagined. So I'm just trying to sort of alleviate it. Now you're going to be doing yours flat, so it's not going to run like this. It's going to pool more. You could see if you have it like this, it'll run and pool different ways. I only have mine sitting up because I want you to be able to see it. So I'm just trying to add in more water and make it like just a little bit wetter. So here even I put some water on. Now I'm going to go get the orange and put it on. Now I'm going to go get more water and put it on. And I just keep wetting it. Because I don't like it to be really bright, but you might like it to be really bright, but then it's like not really the point of watercolors, but you could do whatever you want because it's your picture. If you have too much water on there, you can pick it up with your brush and just wipe it off with your paper towel. So if you feel like your water is dripping or there's too much someplace, you can also dab it with a paper towel, but that's going to like make a big difference. But yours won't really run as much because it won't be sitting up like mine is. Okay, I'm just going to get up here in the corner. I'm going to do a little tiny bit of blue up there. And see, I'm really going to run it as faded as possible. But you can try with different things. It doesn't matter. It's just a background, and this is like an abstract painting, so, or a picture, multimedia, collage, whatever you want to call it. Okay. And that's that. So now I'm going to let this dry as flat as possible. Okay, so the next part is we're going to take our hexagon, which is like a bee, you know, like a beehive piece. And then we have our black pen. I'm just going to make sure mine works. So this isn't the one that I did before because I made one that would kind of be dry so that I could make the tutorial. Okay, and then you're just going to decide where to put it. You're not going to cover the whole thing with the hexagons. You're just going to like kind of strategically place a few. So I would do them next to each other. Okay, and again, yours will be sitting down on the table, so it will be easier than this. So there's one, and let's say I do one here. Now, could you use a Sharpie? Sure, you could use a Sharpie. Could you use a Sharpie and a pen? Sure, it makes some thicker than others, yeah. If you have that stuff, you are welcome to use it. I kind of like the idea of leaving a couple kind of floating. They're attached on one side. Okay. Okay, so we made our hexagons and we have our watercolors. Now, could you cover the whole thing with hexagons? Sure. Could you do more than this? Yes, you can do whatever you want. This just happens to be what I'm going to do. I did mess up a little bit over here, so I'm probably going to take a Sharpie and just make maybe just those ones darker, the ones that I messed up. But I'm going to see what it looks like. So now you have a little sheet of glue dots. Maybe there's 4 on there. And you have a little teeny tiny bee, which it has like a little bit of bling on it. Very exciting. So what I did was I just sort of peeled off the glue dots. They're super hard to see, so you kind of have to like look at it in the light and you know, see where the shiny part is. And so what I did was I like used the bee to kind of scrape off the glue dot, and that way I was also getting it onto the bee's wings. So once you have it on the wing, you can kind of just move it, like squish it over. You just don't want it to be sticking out. And the only reason why I worry about that is because then if like, you know, there's dust or something like that, it's going to stick to the bee. So I just have it, of course you kind of can't see it, but I just have the glue dots kind of stuck to the back of the bee's wings. The butt part of the bee is like kind of hollow, so you don't want to stick stuff there. So I would go with the wings. And then you're just going to figure out where you want it. So you could do it on this side, you could do it this side, you could do it on one of the honeycombs. Honeycombs, yeah, that's what they're called. So I'm probably going to do mine over here. Alright, and I'm just going to stick it to it. And like I said, I'm going to go in with a Sharpie over here and just kind of fix up this one that I kind of messed up. Just because I wasn't, you know, I was like rushing my tracing. Like that one right there, I messed up too. Guess it's going to be double thick. There's always ways to fix stuff, right? I am also a person who has no problem living with imperfection. The whole point of making this stuff is to have fun, if you like making stuff. I also like to relax a little bit. There's something nice about watercolors. See, so I have just 2 darker. Some people that might super annoy, some people might like it, you know, and then you could do all 5 darker, or you could do none of them darker, or, you know, whatever you want. You could also do like maybe little lines from the bee, but I kind of like it just like this. Alright, so you just come to the library and pick up your kit. The kit will have, like I said before, a piece of watercolor paper, a watercolor palette, a little bee charm, some glue dots, and a hexagon. And then you'll provide a black pen or black marker or both, and water and a paper towel. I would love it if you tagged us on Instagram. We're at ERPL Teens or at East Rockaway Library. We have 2 accounts. Or if you tag us on Facebook, or if you email it to me at reference at eastrockawaylibrary.org. Any of those things would be awesome so that we can see what you did. It would make me super happy. And I hope that you like it because it's really fun to make stuff. All right. Talk to you soon.